Hello, Year 4. I hope you're all well. Hello from Mrs. Corfield. Also, she says hi to everybody. We're both so excited to give you this lesson at home this week. Obviously, we're not in the art room, but that does not mean that you cannot be creative at home in your own homes. Now, we know that we still need to just finalize our Egyptian art pieces, but we will do those when we do get back into school. But we are going to get you ready for our next project, which is one of my favorite projects in Year 4. I'm super excited to be introducing you to it today. So let's take a look at what we will be doing next. Monster Mayhem. Okay, so some of you might have seen in the art room that I did this project recently with my CCA club, and the outcomes were absolutely incredible. It was one of my favorite CCAs that we did this term, and I'm so excited for you guys to be able to create monsters. So we will be making them in clay, but before we get to make them in clay, we are going to design them. Okay, so you can see here, even on this screen, you have ones that have 3 eyes. They have, crazy arms and feet. This guy over here looks like he's going to a party. All of them look quite happy. None of them, he might be a little bit grumpy, but most of them look quite happy. Not so scary, but maybe you would like to have yours looking really scary. They can have 1 eye, 2 eyes, 3 eyes, so you're going to have to really be creative when you're doing this. So our first task is to design a monster using various lines and shapes. I know that we have covered before geometric and organic shapes. So again, our geometric shapes, which you would have done, are circles, squares, rectangles, shapes that have a name pretty much, okay? Whereas you have organic shapes are nice wavy lines like blobs and things like that, okay? So more organic shapes that you can use as well. We are going to design our monsters on A4 paper. If you have cartridge paper at home, something a little bit thicker maybe than just photocopy paper, you can use that, but any sort of paper really will do. You'll need a pencil to draw and a marker to outline, and colouring pencils in our next lesson to add colour. So hopefully by the end of this lesson, you are going to use lots of the images that we have in our PowerPoint to inspire you to create your own original designs. So we don't really want to copy designs. I want you to have your own individual crazy monster. Okay, so you're going to remember to lightly sketch first with your pencil, and then we will add details. So you can see here, this is my monster that I had designed. So on my A4 piece of paper, I would really like you to write my monster on the top, okay? So remember what you learned about bubble writing at the start of term 1. Do you remember when we did our ART at the front of our sketchbooks and you learned how to do the bubble writing? I would love to see a nice title on the top with my monster, okay? And you can underline it neatly with a ruler, okay? So not a huge title, you just want a small title, maybe an inch, inch and a half at the top of your page. Then on the next slide, there is resource images, and I'll put all of those onto the VLE as well, but images to inspire you. And then with your pencil, lightly sketch first, okay? You want to not go too hard, because if you change your mind, if maybe he has 2 eyes and then you want to give him 4 eyes, that you can just erase it nice and easily. You'd see over here, there's nice little examples maybe of tails or an eye, things that you could add in. And then you can add details, like I made his face here like really hairy, and his little spike up here quite rough, things like that. Okay, so let's take a look. Oh, and to remember to outline it in black, but only when you're super happy with your design to outline. So here, wowzers, you can see monster examples. So this guy, he looks a bit sleepy, maybe Miss Hutchinson or Mrs. Corfield on a Sunday morning before they've had their coffee. This guy here, maybe all of us on a Thursday when we're going home for the weekend, or maybe coming to art lessons where we're all really happy to get in. This guy over here has a set of wings. He's like a little dragon. This guy looks like he's either really hungry or really angry. So there's lots that you could do, okay? This little one has a nice little bow in her hair. Some of them don't even have legs. It's just like a blob. Some of them have tongues and teeth. So I really like, you might decide, oh, I like the eye on this one. I might take that as inspiration, but then I really love these feet over here. So I'm going to put those on. Okay, so you can kind of take bits from each of them, but I really want you to sort of get inspired to do your own design. Okay, so at the end of today's lesson, I hope that you will have an A4 piece of paper, your title, My Monster, in bubble writing, and then for you to try and fill that A4 piece of paper. Okay, so your monster should be about A5 size, and then down the bottom here, you can write things like, my monster's name is, I think I'm going to call mine Bob. So my monster's name is Bob. Or you could write his or her name is, he or she likes to eat. Maybe they like to eat Oreo cookies, or maybe they like to eat worms. You never know. You could also like to add in a sentence, he or she or my monster lives in a cave, or maybe lives in the Cranley recycling bins. So you could, come up with a creative place maybe that they would live. Okay, this over here we're going to do in the next lesson. Okay, so we're going to learn to be, blending our colors, and especially our titles over here. So this is what I want us to focus on today, and I'm so excited to see what you're going to come up with. So this is an example of a design here. So they've actually drawn it from the side, but you just need to draw it from the front. You can see one eye, he's lots of bumps here. He looks a little bit lost or a little bit confused, this guy. But again, you don't have to put a background in, but if you're feeling very creative and you'd like to draw something in the background, you can go ahead. But you'd see here there is geometric shapes in your circles. So we have a circle, another circle, and these are examples of the Cranley monsters that we made in the CCA club. So you can see my dude is in here. I still need to glaze him, but I'm going to wait until I'm with my lovely year 4s to show you how to do those. You can see here, this one has lots of eyes and lots of teeth. This one over here is actually an artist. He has a beret on, and there is a paintbrush underneath his tongue. And there's actually a paint palette, which you can't quite see here, but very, very creative designs. So textures as well. Maybe you could put little taste buds on their tongue. You could put, bubbles on their skin, whatever you fancy. Okay, so that is our lesson for today. Remember, your objective is to design a monster using let's go back, to design a monster using various lines and shapes in your work. This full PowerPoint is in the Year 4 folder, and it is on the VLE, and I will also put up these images as well for you on both. Okay, so best of luck, have fun, be creative, enjoy it, and as soon as you are finished, if you want to, you can either scan it and upload it to the VLE, take a photo and upload it to the VLE, and myself and Mrs. Corfield will get back to you soon. Have fun, Year 4.